If your pastor asks for tithes, chances is he like that. Because why am I putting the responsibility?
That's every pastor.
Why am I putting the responsibility on my poor parishes to help donate what God called me to do? God's supposed to take care of this. Y'all supposed to bring me blankets, pillowcases, toilet tissue, pampers, canned goods, beans. It's called
the lights on.
It's called. That ain't my job. You went and got that church, pastor.
Yeah.
When it's time to keep my lights on, I can't come to the church and say, hey man, I done gave $3,000, pastor, in the last 2 years. I'm kind of struggling right now. Can y'all help me? I can't do that. So why I should give a fuck about keeping the church lights on when they only open Wednesday and Sunday? Bills shouldn't be that goddamn much, no way. Ain't like you open 5-7 days a week, nigga.
Nah, for real though. Got a good point there.
Shit, nigga. Yeah.
Got a good point, dog.
Yeah, nigga, Miss Mary and the dough lady supposed to be either selling pies, cakes, pussies, or knitting to make money for the church. These your hoes, nigga.
The church lady selling pussy.
Nigga, they lay money at your feet, but won't get a baby. They harbor no money, but they lay money. They make sure the money they make out their budget, a percentage coming to you. And you ain't getting nothing back to God. Nigga, you crooked.
Yeah. Look here, Charleston wasn't lying. Pastors don't hustle dope. They hustle single mothers. And the product ain't salvation. It's guilt, hope, and emotional therapy on a weekly payment plan. Bro, notice the pattern. The pastor don't ever call the fathers to step up. He don't ever say, bro, bring your kids, take leadership, rebuild your home. Nah, he says, single mothers, stand up. You are the backbone of this church. Translation, you are the ATM of this church. A father in the home brings stability. A family with the father don't need the church like that. But a struggling single mom, she needs everything. Community, she needs validation, she needs constant pep talks. That's recurring revenue.
The church is keeping Christian women single, and this is why there are so many Christian single women at the church, literally single for years, not getting married, not getting any type of dates, not getting any type of attention. While they are serving at church, they're doing all the right things on paper. They might be in great physical shape. They might have their healing journey all, through and through. They're doing the inner work. They're doing all that. They are focused. They are focused on Christ. They've been focused on Christ for years. They have been doing the things that people have been telling them to do for years, yet they're still single, have no candidates, have nobody looking in their direction. Let me tell you something. The church does not teach Christian women how to date. The church does not teach Christian women to date at all. What they tell us to do is to sit with our hands in our laps and to wait for a man to come at our door. That is not biblically wise. Faith without works is dead, and that applies to every area of our life. If you have a job and you lose that job, are you just going to sit and pray for God to send you a new job and then just stay at home and not apply for a single job? No. If you lose your job, you're going to pray, Lord, please bless me with another job. Of course, there's your faith. But then after that, you're going to go searching for a job. You're going to be applying for jobs, and you're going to pray that God will bless you with the right job. If all you're doing is sitting at home doing 1,000 prayers for your future spouse, you are fasting, you are praying, you're doing all these other things, but you're not actually putting any practical works into dating, more times than not, you are not going to find your spouse.
That's pastor pimping. Churches become a subscription model. Netflix for the soul. You keep paying, but you never own anything. You don't get healing. You get dependency. And the pastor knows as long as the mama stays broken, the church stays paid. They'll pass the plate 3 times before they pass responsibility back to the fathers. They'll lay hands on mama, but won't lay accountability on daddy. Because accountability don't pay the light bill. Emotional sermons do.
The Black church's focus is not on building families. It's about keeping women single, comfortable, independent. I said what I said. Just look at the numbers. The church is 70 to 80% single women. Yet the pastor want to sell these women this fairy tale, telling them that your Boaz is coming. Keep waiting, knowing good and well that there isn't any single men in the congregation. And that's low-key manipulation. Because the men aren't flocking to the churches because the churches are catered to women. The sermons shame men and pamper women. The programs be women brunches, women conferences, women's night. The churches know who paid the tithes. It's the women. So they selling the women these dreams while cashing their checks. And let's be real. The men that are in the churches are either one, already married, gay, or looking for some silly woman to take advantage of. You gotta ask yourself, if the church is really about family, why is it full of single mothers, single women, and empty of men? Because the black church needs the women single, desperate, and waiting. Because if you have the family that you pray for, then they wouldn't be able to control you.
This is why they happy the father's gone.
Yeah, nigga Miss Mary and the dough lady supposed to be either selling pies, cakes, pussies, or knitting to make money.
Bro, when Charleston said that, I had to laugh. But then I thought about it. The nigga ain't wrong. They'll sell everything to keep that church alive, but won't build anything to keep the family alive. That's the crooked shit right there. Fellas, think about this. How many of y'all watched your mama go broke paying into the church while your daddy was demonized and left outside the building? You grew up thinking church was holy, but it really was a hustle. And I know some of y'all gonna say, but the church gave me community. Yeah, community without a father isn't a community. It's just daycare. Single mothers get drained. Fathers get dismissed. Kids get raised in dysfunction, and the cycle repeats. While the pastor rides clean, talking about God will provide. But God ain't paying for them rims. Bro, that's your mama's tithe money. Here's the reality. Strong men don't build big churches. Strong men build strong homes. And strong homes don't need a middleman, the pimping preacher. That's why the pastor don't advertise the fathers. Fathers cut out the hustle. We don't need Sunday therapy every week. We need Monday through Saturday discipline. So when Charleston said, you crooked, that wasn't comedy. That was prophecy. Because a church that hustles single mothers but don't restore fathers ain't holy. It's a pimp game in the pulpit. Bro, drop this in the comments. Is the modern church saving families or pimping single mothers? And don't just say both. Pick a side. Because your kids' future depend on it. Y'all trying to blame Carnival for protecting their bottom line. If they cut out rap music, it's probably because niggas don't know how to act when rap music is playing. Here's the thing. I've never owned a ship. I don't have the money to own a ship. But if I did own a bunch of ships, I guarantee you I wouldn't want niggas coming on there tearing it up.
Buy another one, you rich motherfucker. Yo, couch.
Yo, what's good? I got another one for y'all today. Some more black fatigue and another black person who refuses to take accountability. It's a lot of them that's mad about Carnival cruises now, that's cutting down on the shenanigans and the degeneracy that's going on. All right, let me play this video and I'll give my commentary as we go along.
Carnival Cruise Line does not like black people, and they don't want black people taking their cruises, okay? It started off with the speakers telling people that they can't bring speakers no more. Why would you not want people to be able to bring speakers and listen to their own music?
All right, let me give you some common sense. And I hate when people do this, when they try to lump everybody together, trying to say that they don't like black people. Black women do this too when it comes to us calling out certain women. When we calling out the 304s, they try to say that we're talking about all women. No, we're only talking about the women who are promiscuous and don't have respect for themselves. The same way here, Carnival isn't targeting black people. Carnival is targeting niggas, especially. They're tired of it. We're tired of it. A lot of black people who have decorum and respect for themselves don't really want to deal with niggas. And I'm just one of the ones that ain't afraid to say it and who don't care how y'all feel. If you don't like that word, or if you don't want to be lumped up and have people looking at black people the wrong way, then get some decorum, some respect about yourself, and you won't have to deal with this. Stop trying to go after the people who's calling out the behavior and go after yourself. That's the biggest issue. Y'all don't want to look in the mirror. Black women, a lot of black men, a lot of liberals, y'all don't want to look in the mirror. It's all the same shit. People who play victims, these immigrants, all of them, they don't want to look in the mirror. That's all this is a lack of accountability. All right, let me let this chick talk.
Anyway, now Carnival has banned rap music on their cruises. Now, I've been seeing little posts here and there the last couple of days that Carnival is not playing rap music in the clubs no more. But this morning, I actually saw a video of somebody in the club. There was nobody on the dance floor, and they were literally playing soca music. And the caption was like how they asked the DJ if the DJ could play some rap music in the club, and the DJ let them know that they're not allowed to play rap music anymore.
And whose fault is that? Y'all trying to blame Carnival for protecting their bottom line. If they cut out rap music, it's probably because niggas don't know how to act when rap music is playing. And it's costing them money. I know I wouldn't want to go on a cruise where people is nuck if you buck and whatever the new shit is now. And I can't just kind of chill and have fun. I got a bunch of people that's hype. They don't have any respect for anybody but themselves. They don't care about anybody but themselves. And the time they're having, they're not considerate of other people. That's why they're banning this, because y'all don't know how to play fair. Like, it's all about y'all, all about what y'all want to do, and rap music does nothing but to contribute to that. So if they're cutting it out, that's on us, not Carnival. We got to stop blaming them, because here's the thing. I've never owned a ship. I don't have the money to own a ship. But if I did own a bunch of ships, I guarantee you I wouldn't want niggas coming on there tearing it up. And I would do the same thing, because it's not about race. It's not about black. It's not about white. It's about green. It's about the bottom line. And a lot of y'all can only see through a racial lens, not understanding that these people, when they're looking at their books, all they see are numbers. And if the numbers are lower, they're going to want to know why. And if it comes back that people are saying in surveys and stuff like that, we don't want to go on this cruise line because it's crowded with people that don't know how to act and things like that. Yes, Carnival is going to turn around and try to find ways to keep their bottom line protected. If that means cutting out rap music, they're going to cut it out. So the thing is, y'all probably need to keep this type of behavior at the clubs in the hood and stuff like that, and not bring it on the ocean. Like, if you're coming on the ocean, you need to relax. You could party a little bit, but you need to have respect for your other members that are around you.
So they put on soca. Now y'all tell me, a place that does not allow rap music and rap music only, no other type of music is not allowed to be played but rap music. Y'all please tell me, what is the demographic of people that they're trying to keep away? And Carnival, y'all.
She's asking what's the demographic they're trying to keep away. Niggas, not black people. I'm going to keep reiterating this, and we need to do this more. Niggas. And the black race is niggas. And other races, you got the people who don't know how to act, whatever the names you want to call them. They, you know, in the white community, they say the people in the trailer parks. But for us, we call them niggas. At least I do. And that's the demographic they're trying to keep away. They love black people. Black people got money just like any other race. But they want you to act right when you come on their stuff, when you come on their ship. They want you to act how you supposed to act. Just because you paying money don't give you the freedom to cut up and do whatever the hell you want to do. There are limits. All money ain't good money. And if you showing your money's bad, hey, you're going to lose certain privileges.
I got some nerve because y'all are mad dirty, y'all mad cheap, y'all mad ghetto. Every time I see a video of Carnival, the stairways is all rusty. Y'all got a whole documentary out here about how y'all ships be catching on fire and shit mixed with piss all on the walls, all on the floors, and y'all got beef with rap music. I think y'all have bigger fish to fry. And it's
no, that's part of the fish. They want all the fish. It's looking like they're seeing, hey, the bottom line's affected, as I keep saying. They're going to get rid of everything. They're going to cut the rap music. They're going to try to bring in better acting people that'll spend their money so that they can get the rust and the stuff off the ships. If they already having problems, y'all not doing anything but contributing to the problem. we got to get out of this. Like, as black people, the toxic ones, there's like this whole narcissistic thing of they need us, they need our money. If they lose us, then they fail, like they trying to say with Target. As where a lot of black people don't understand, the issue with Target is bigger than black people. Target had issues before the boycotts and the protests. So honestly, we really didn't have that much of an impact on Target. It's only Target that's suffering. Why? Because they already had issues. Other places that were boycotted, they're okay. We boycotted for a little bit, forgot about it, back to bigger, better things.
So crazy because I've never been on a cruise, and I always said, like, when I go on a cruise with like me and my homegirls, like without my kids, we're gonna go on Carnival because it seems like that's the party cruise. I don't bring my kids in like high volume areas. Like, I would take my kids on one of those.
All right, so that's that for that. But yeah,
Carnival.
Yeah, that's that for that. But yeah, the issue is us. It's not Carnival. It's not any other place that's trying to keep their reputation good or keep the noise down, keep the crime down, or just keep the bad behavior down. That's us. And the thing is, as black people, more of us got to speak up and separate from the ones who are cutting up. That's how it used to be. We used to have shame, where you can get on the people who's acting up, and they had to go do their own. You know, they were separated, and you either got your act together and came back, or you starved. We got to get back to that. The black people who are doing good, stop accepting this. And that's the other issue that we have. You have a lot of black people who they do the right thing, but they also endorse this type of behavior. They take up for them instead of calling it out. That, to me, that is one of the biggest issues in the black community right now, is that a lot of black people who are doing right will not call out the ones who are doing wrong. They say, hey, let them do what they want to do. They not hurting nobody. Yes, they are, because we have a reputation. As much as you want to say it or not, we are Americans first. But guess what? After you break down being American, then it goes to your race. And the way we act determines our race. Who we put out in the mainstream determines our race. And what do we put out in the mainstream now as our representatives? Rappers. Now you got the Ultima jokes coming out with the bonnet bandits, the chicks that can't get themselves together to come out the house. You go into black areas of party now, and all the women are half naked. You even go in I was in the grocery store earlier today, and it was a black chick walking around with just a skin tight outfit on with her back out. You could see her breasts, everything. And I'm like, yo, there's not even anybody in this grocery store. You couldn't put something on better than that? Like, we are ruining our own reputation, and we want to sit up here and protest the government, protest Trump and everybody else instead of getting our act together. Until we get our act together, people are going to rebel against us. The system is going to rebel against us unless they making money off of us. The people who are out here supporting you, they're making money off of you and still watching you fail.
I understand. We need to move beyond color. I'm not about that, but y'all raised it. If you start it, I'll end it for you. Don't start nothing, it won't be nothing. But we got a problem. Black people got a problem. Now, we can move to color blindness and always look at the man by the content of his character, never the color of his skin. I'm down for that. You get my vote. Yay and amen. I'm for that. But before we get there, we need to hear some truth. Black people and white folk. Black people got a problem. And it's a God problem. When black people see the world, I don't care. You can train them. You can train a black man to be a physician. You can train him to be an astrophysicist. You can train him to be a lawyer, but you can't train him to understand the world. He doesn't know. I'm telling you. There's not 2 cents worth of difference between a mass murderer. There's not 2 cents of difference between a petty thief that's locked away in prison than a black doctor when it comes to understanding the world. Listen, you listen to me. We got to deal with this. And we need to begin to acknowledge it, talk about it, Ask God to help us because only God can help black people where they are. Black people had Africa, that big old continent over there. They never built one boat that was seaworthy, not one. There's not one monument in Africa, in all of Africa. I know you're talking about Egypt. Egypt is not Africa. There are no great cities that were built. Even before the first colonization of white people coming to the shores of Africa or the slave ships, black men built nothing. No sewer system, no houses above one level, and none of them made out of stone. All of them made out of grass and wood. Black men, before the white man ever got to Africa. The worst thing that could ever happen to South Africa was when they gave it to Nelson Mandela and black folk. That was a great nation. Now, notwithstanding apartheid was wrong, we all know it's wrong. I'm against it. There should have been some other resolution, though, than turning it over to Nelson Mandela. Disease, AIDS, and crime is running wild in Johannesburg. They're killing one another over there. They're dying of sickness. The government is mismanaged. The people who ran the nation are now leaving the nation because black folk don't know how to run no nation. They don't know how, and we need to admit it. I know you don't like it, but you need to stop shucking and jiving. We got a problem. Nigeria produces oil every year, yet the children over there are hungry and pot-bellied and walking barefoot. We got a problem. You talk about the Hutus and the Tutsis. Look what's going on in Zimbabwe now with Mugabe. We got a problem, black folk. And forget about Zimbabwe and South Africa, Nigeria. Look at what y'all have done in Harlem. You can't even hold on to Harlem. We got a problem. Black folk don't understand the world. You can get mad with me all you want. You can say what you, but you can't prove me wrong. Now, I'm not saying this because I hate black folk. I'm saying it because I love you enough to tell the truth. And the only person going to ever help us get out of the situation is going to be God. There's something wrong with the black man's mind.
All right, I'm going to end that there. And I agree with that last part. I say this all the time because I'm constantly getting attacked because I speak up. I criticize. Why? Because I love our race. I love being black. But I'm not about to sit here and excuse everything and just say that's our culture because it's not. It's not healthy. It's trash, really, a lot of what we're glorifying. It's not everybody, but it's too many. And what it is, it's like the people who are doing this are the ones that we allow to speak for us. And then if you look at our track record, you know, we don't have a lot of achievements. We got small achievements and things that we contributed, but we haven't really done a lot ourselves, like on a bigger scale, you know what I'm saying? So I agree with him on that. And I think once we start calling it out, that's when we can start healing from this. I'm gonna tell you what I think a lot of what's going on. We're being like a stubborn kid. Like everybody's playing this game and this one kid don't want to play, so he pouts and sits off to the side because he can't play the game he want to play. And on top of that, he came in late anyway. That's kind of like how black people are. We want to play our own game. We don't want to play the America game where most of us are born. And that's the issue that I have with a lot of people. Like, they're creating division by saying, I'm black, my roots are Africa and all that. Yeah, you know what? A lot of white people roots are Europe. But the ones who are born over here patriotic, that's why I'm patriotic, because I was born here. And I think if a lot more of us would stop looking at the color and start appreciating that we were born in America and play the game, which is capitalism, we would get a lot further. Because a lot of black people have the mindset of like socialists. That's a big problem. Like if you go in the hood, in the inner cities and stuff like that, a lot of the businesses, they have a socialist mindset. Like a lot of the grocery stores, because you know they got the thing they call food deserts. So the government and other probably nonprofits or whatever are funding like grocery stores and stuff. I just seen this in my city where I went into a grocery store, and I normally don't go in the inner city like that, but at this time I was like, okay, I'm by the store. Let me stop and get some stuff for my woman to cook. When I went in there, like most of the shelves are empty. And I'm thinking the shipment didn't come through. When I asked, they were like, well, we lost a lot of the funding because of the stuff that's going on with Trump and the government and stuff like that. They looked at me, expected me to feel sorry for it. And I'm like, well, y'all should have been carrying this anyway. Y'all should have better business model. You know what? If people not putting in, then the business is going to fail. That's capitalism. So the thing is, instead of relying on government money, which a lot of us do, we need to figure out better business practice. And that's the thing about life. And I just realized this. Life is a business. If you treat your life like a business, it's going to go way better than if you don't. Like if you treat it like bad business, not organized, doing whatever you want to do, not utilizing your time, you're going to end up poor, broke, getting the things you deserve. Like I was just having a debate with this lady talking about nobody deserves to be homeless. And that's not true. If you're not making the right decisions in life, you definitely deserve to be homeless. That's a lot of why Black people are having the issues that they're having is because of bad decisions more than anything. To say that like not been in the inner city yet, I moved out of the inner city because of the crime. They kept trying to break in my car. I had another car. This nigga was just driving crazy and totaled my car out and then ran. So it was a hit and run. Like, it's just a lot going on, and we gotta own it. I know a lot of people gonna come in here and say, well, that's not all Black people. You know what? You're right. But it's enough to represent. Look at like the NBA, right? If you look at the NBA, there's all races of players in the NBA. But when you think NBA, you're usually gonna think Black men. That's kind of how like the Black race is. Yeah, there are successful people, there are people doing great. But when you look at the media, what's on TV, what's on your phones, you got to think everybody got a phone. So whatever is coming through that phone in mass is what people are getting taught. We are okay with Glorilla, Megan Thee Stallion. It's more the women now. It's almost like the men that kind of calm down. Like they still doing their drill music, stuff like that. But it don't seem to be out as much. It's not being pushed. That's the thing. There's like a push behind a lot of this stuff now. And it's the women that's being pushed with the degeneracy and the toxicity. Yeah, and I think a lot of the stuff too, education. Education is very important. That's a big thing that's missing. And what I mean by education, I mean us teaching. Too many of us rely on the school system. We just send our kids to the school and they supposed to teach them. No, we have to be more involved, especially when you get to the inner city. The schools are like daycare for the parents. The kids come home, they eat, go to sleep, get up, go to school because the parents are too busy working. Yeah, we got a lot of issues. A lot of the Black fatigue, not having fathers in the home is really big. And to me, that is why this is happening. It's because the father has been removed. I think if the father would have stayed like in the 60s, in the 50s, if that would have never happened, I think the Black community will be strong because we had strong Black men back in those days. And then when you had like feminism and all that stuff to come around, strong men, period, started getting called misogynist and kind of pushed out the way. That's where you have like the liberal party right now that's just wreaking havoc in America and just ruining the family dynamic, the nuclear family, everything. You know what? Like how the saying goes, I think it was Malcolm X that said it. If a white person sneezes, a Black person got the flu. One of Malcolm X, Muhammad Ali, one of them said that, but it's a true statement and that's what's going on. Well, right now, the Black community is just dealing with a flu. And until we're able to acknowledge this, stop like denying it, gaslighting each other, this is going to continue to happen. You got like the FBAs, you got a lot of those people, the pro-Blacks who come after me and other people, Officer Tatum, and just say, we hate Black people or we hate the Black community, when that could be the furthest from the truth. To me, it's like, I don't have time for that. I could be doing other stuff. I got like a lot of hustles. I come on here because I enjoy it, and then I really want to make a change in the Black community, and not by having the rapper who cussed the most or that. I'm done with that. I was done with BET years ago. People like getting all emotional because BET got sold. Man, I was done with BET in like 99, 2000. I realized back then as a teenager, BET was garbage, and that's why a lot of us are sitting here now. Because as a kid, I wanted to watch Discovery Channel, TLC. Things like that. I wasn't worried about no BET. My cousins and stuff, they would come in like, why you watching that? Turn on some rap videos or turn on this. I was never into that type of stuff. I got into it later because I got caught up in that. And now that I've grown up, I'm back to what I was before because that wasn't really me. And a lot of black men are going through that because they were ostracized or told they were nerds. And then they didn't have that security about them. So they were trying to be something they weren't. And then when they, you know, if you like me and you find your voice, hey, we gonna make it happen. Like now I know who I am. I ain't into all that. This one's gonna make a lot of folks uncomfortable because it's not the sanitized version of the truth. What you're about to hear is somebody laying out exactly why their perception of black people is so negative. Now, you can agree, you can disagree. But if you click away before hearing the full thing, you will miss the part that explains why conversations like this even happen. So shit, let's roll the clip and then I'll break it down.
It's a shame. I really do believe, look, I think black people are not irredeemable, but there just needs to be brutal honesty. It's like, look, these black people are really struggling and they're turning into these maniacs. It seems like they don't do anything right. They're obnoxious, they're rude, they're inconsiderate, aggressive, cruel. And, you know, look, nobody hates black people for being black. If there are people like that, I think that's exceedingly rare. And I don't consider myself one of them. The reason that people have negative attitudes about black people is because most people's interactions with black people are negative. Most people's interactions with black people is when you're stuck in traffic and you see a Nissan Altima speeding down the shoulder. And you say, what the fuck? You're not supposed to do that. If everybody did that, it would just be another lane. And, you know, not everybody can do that. But it's like these people have no respect for decorum. They think the rules don't apply to them. They have no respect for society. Like that's their interaction is they are a waiter and they wait on a black table and the black people don't tip and they're fucking rude. Like that's most people's interactions. It's stuff like that. They go to the DMV and they see a black person behind the counter and they say, oh, here we go. And the person's rude. Now, it just goes to show people are not racist. It goes to show people don't like people that are rude. That people don't, it's unpleasant. People want to be treated with consideration and respect. And it is true that black people are, in this day and age, unfortunately, seem to have very low moral character. It's not even just the violence, although the violence is pretty striking. If you live your life and you know that you're going to be mugged by black people, it kind of colors your opinion or perception of black people, wouldn't you say? If 99% of the carjackings and stabbings and shootings that you see in Chicago are by black people, when you're walking down the street late at night, guess what you're looking for? Black people. And you equate that with danger. And it doesn't take a lot of them to spoil the whole bunch like that. And we just want black people to take accountability and say, look, I'm not a bad person. I'm not a bad person. It just seems that every time I encounter you people, for the most part, it's negative. And sometimes extremely negative, like I could get a gun in my face. You know, that's a problem. And people go, well, you are just loaded up with hatred and racism. It's like, I'm really not. I'm a really friendly person. I'm a really polite, friendly person. I give everybody a chance. But if I'm someplace and I see some black person walking in with their pants sagging and they can't articulate what their problem is or what they need, and they're rude and they're aggressive and I'm in fear for my life, like, yeah, I have a problem with all of that. And people go, and these black people go, well, you're racist, you're racist. It's like, no, I just hate inconsiderate behavior. If black people were super well behaved, we would be racist in the other direction. We'd say, black people, oh yes, dude, yes. My day is about to turn around for the better. What can I help you with, sir? Please come right on in. Man, what a relief to see you here. You're a sight for sore eyes. If black people were known for being the best, then we would be racist in the other direction. Oh, finally. So yeah, that really bothers me. It just bothers me in this damn ass city because that's all it is in Chicago is just these black people who can never take accountability. It's always somebody else's fault.
See, this is the problem right here. What he just described, that ain't all black people. That's niggas. The reckless, rude, no respect for nobody. Rules don't apply to me type. The ones who think volume is power and disrespect is personality. That's a subculture, but it's loud, it's visible, and it becomes the face of all of us. And here's the part most folks don't want to admit. The people who aren't like that, the ones who carry themselves with discipline and respect, will still try to shut down conversations like this. They'll say, don't talk about it in public. You're making us look bad. But you know what happens when you silence people like me? You group all of us together. You strip away the ability to separate man from menace. And the real masculine men, The ones who should be setting the standard get talked about, ridiculed, and eventually beaten down to silence. There's no authority left to check bad behavior because the only voices allowed to speak are the ones who defend it. And make no mistake, this ain't about race. It's about culture. You can't convince me that tipping your server, following basic traffic laws, or talking to people with respect is acting white. That's acting like a man. The truth is, this chunk of our community has no fear of consequences because real men aren't allowed to set the tone anymore. You try to correct them, they'll call you a sellout, and Uncle Tom a coon. Meanwhile, they keep lowering the standard until chaos becomes the norm. And when the outsiders see that chaos enough times, they stop making distinctions. In their eyes, you're all the same. Doesn't matter if you're a father raising the kids, a husband providing for his family, or a business owner giving back. You're just another face they associate with the worst of us. That's why I talk the way I talk. That's why I refuse to sugarcoat. Because if the masculine men stay quiet, then the only image the world sees of us is sagging pants, aggression, and entitlement. And then we want to get mad at the stereotype instead of killing the behavior that created it in the first place. If you want respect, start by making sure the world sees you as a man of respect, not a man demanding it without earning it. Because when we stop leading, the streets will lead. And the streets don't care about your future, your family, or your reputation.
We want to begin tonight with the executive order signed by Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson. Now, this afternoon, he detailed the...
Hold on, before we get started, man, we got to do something about these wigs and weaves, man. Like Chewbacca got that DEI hire right there. Man, we got to do something. It's okay to go natural. It's okay to love you and sport your hair, but this got to stop.
The plan as President Trump threatens to send federal forces to Chicago. Our Randy Gyllenhaal has more on the plan set forth by the mayor.
Well, tonight on social media, President Trump posting a warning to Illinois as leaders here in Chicago are preparing for the unprecedented.
We do not want to see tanks in our streets.
Yo, just to hear his voice is fucking irritating. Like the dude just sounds weak and lame. Like nothing about him screams leadership. It just screams grift. Like all he cares about is just socialism. You saying you don't want to see tanks on your streets, but you're okay seeing weapons, rifles, whatever these YNs are carrying. You're fine seeing that, but you don't want to see things that are supposed to be on your side. You are putting yourself against the federal government when we're all supposed to be together against what goes against America, which is crime. That's the problem here. This dude really is just putting his ego first. That's all this is. It's like a pissing contest. Instead of realizing, okay, Trump is worried about the safety and concern, you got to change it to he's just trying to take over, or he's trying to set up something for something bigger political. Like, I think further down the road, the Pritzker said something about he just trying to get set up for the election in 2026. That's the problem here. You need to put your ego aside. And what's really going on is this dude doesn't want the crime to stop because it stops his money flow. That's all this is about. Liberals and Democrats, they understand the game. The game is we're making money off social programs put into place that's supposed to fight crime and supposed to treat all these things. It's not curing anything. Because how do you cure it? You empower the police department. You bring in more officers. You bring in the National Guard, which Trump is offering, and you shut all this shit down. But if you shut it down, they money stop. All these people are in this together. All these liberals are in this together, and they think they're being benevolent with these programs, but they're not. They're tricking the people and the residents that are blue, Democrat, into thinking these programs are helping, but people like Brandon Johnson is getting rich off this shit. That's all this is.
Do not want to see families ripped apart.
Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson vowed.
See right there, he talking about he don't want to see families ripped apart. These YNs rip families apart every night, every day now. So what would it do to let Trump come in and stop letting families being ripped apart by these YNs? I guarantee you Trump is going to rip less families. He's probably going to bring families together like he did in DC. Like, I'm about to just break down every lie this dude is saying right here. Brandon Johnson got to be the worst mayor ever behind Tiffany Henyard. All of them are in it for the money. At least Tiffany Henyard was up front with her shit. Brandon Johnson is hiding behind lies. This dude is a straight fraud.
Pushback against White House plans to send ICE agents or even National Guard troops into Chicago. Taking a page from Trump and signing this executive order, largely symbolic, requiring federal agents wear body cameras and uniforms and show their faces, declaring Chicago police will remain locally controlled.
We may see militarized immigration enforcement. We may also see National Guard troops. This president continues to go well beyond the bounds of the Constitution.
Trump citing crime in Chicago, pointing to 6 homicides last weekend, even as killings are down about 30% this year. Writing on Truth Social, the weak and pathetic governor of Illinois just said he doesn't need help in preventing crime. He is crazy. He better straighten it out fast, or we're coming.
They're just looking to invade the city of Chicago. This is a part of his plan to do something really nefarious, which is to interfere with elections in 2026.
That's what I'm talking about right there. This has nothing to do with elections. That's what y'all are on. Y'all are projecting y'all own stuff onto Trump. Trump can't run again. Trump is not worried about another election. What Trump is worried about is setting a legacy. It's being known for results. That's the difference. Y'all don't want results. All y'all Democrats, liberals don't want results. And I'm not talking about the regular people that are Democrat and liberals. I'm talking about the elected officials. This is a industrial complex that they got set up. They are profiting off of crime. So guess what? If Trump comes in and stops the crime, that stops their money-making machine. They have nothing else to push all these programs stop. Just like in DC, if Trump keeps doing what he's doing in DC, you don't need programs to fight crime, because guess what? The government did it. And that's the thing. You shouldn't need social programs for crime. You shouldn't need social programs from the government to feed the people. That's socialist policy. This is America. This is a capitalist country. And what Trump is doing is capitalism. He's using the government for what it's supposed to be for. The government is supposed to make the area safe so that free market can happen, so that people can come in and start businesses and operate safely. But when you got the government that's trying to control crime, guess what? They're being a business too. It's just not a business that benefit the people. It only benefit them, and the people suffer because of it. That's the class divide right there. The people who are in poverty, most people who are in poverty don't have the knowledge to understand what's going on. That's why they're in poverty. And these liberals like this, Brandon Johnson, Pritzker, they're sitting here taking advantage of these people, and then they feed them rhetoric like Trump is trying to come attack you. And then they jump on the side with the liberals and go against Trump, who is really trying to help. I'm sorry, DC is the blueprint. And when the mayor, when she had to come out and acknowledge it, yo, that told me everything I needed to know. Those are the results I was looking for.
He wants to have troops on the ground.
The operation could be based out of North Chicago. Naval Station Great Lakes is set to host federal ICE and Homeland Security agents. It's unclear if the National Guard will join, and using the Guard for domestic crime could be unconstitutional.
He cannot use the National Guard to enforce immigration law, because in order to federalize the National Guard, there has to be an insurrection, or we must be under some kind of invasion or rebellion in order to justify that.
So you don't consider these YNs and these gangs that's taking over the city? A rebellion? That's exactly what the crime is. It's a rebellion. It's on a mass scale. And see, that's subjective. When they sit here and say that Trump is going against the Constitution, no, Trump is finding rules and laws on the books and he's using them. And guess what? You have the courts. That's why the courts are there. The courts are the ones who determine, not these politicians, not Brandon Johnson, not Pritzker. They don't determine what's constitutional, unconstitutional. The courts do. So if there's a law there, Trump says, hey, let's use this law. And then Brandon Johnson or Pritzker can challenge it in the court, and then the court determines. But because y'all don't understand this, I'm talking about a lot of the liberals and people who are emotional or haven't studied. If y'all don't know this, then y'all take everything y'all hear as Trump is going against the Constitution or he doesn't like America. No, he's going and finding laws and he's activating them, which a lot of presidents before him didn't do because they're too busy sucking up to the people, giving them what they want instead of what they need. Trump is trying to get a country what it needs. And when you give somebody or something or a country what it needs, it doesn't look pretty because you want what's pretty. You probably need what's not pretty. Like you want sugar, but you probably need vegetables if you're 300 pounds. And that's what America's going through. America's 300 pounds right now, needs to lose weight, but they still want to eat ice cream at 3 a.m. instead of having Trump come in with vegetables. Like, here's your broccoli. Here's your green beans. We cutting out your carbs. And right now, crime in America is the carbs. And the liberals want more carbs. Trump is like, no, we're cutting out the carbs and we're going to go lean protein. That's as simple as I can make it. If y'all on the fence about who's doing what, look at the results. Stop looking at your fucking feelings and look at the results. Because the results is what matter. When Brandon Johnson just sat up here talking about we don't want grandmothers disappearing and all that, what you think these YNs are doing to people's grandmas? They don't disappear. They lose their life right in front of you in the middle of the street in mid daylight. I don't know why y'all can't see that. And the people of Chicago, a lot of the people, they're not just whites. These are black people, hood niggas talking about, I need the National Guard to come in and make this safe. Even some of the YNs are tired of it. And guess what? I'm going to end this video with one of the YNs talking about it. I got y'all on this. All right. Check this out. Y'all subscribe. Check out this last clip. And then we out of here.
Liberals in Chicago have the privilege of being able to say that we don't need the National Guard here in Chicago. They have the privilege of saying that because they keep themselves in their careful bubbles of Lincoln Park, Wicker Park. They stay up in some of the northern areas and they go and frolic at the beach, playing volleyball and pickleball and tennis in these areas where it's clean. There's minimal crime. Of course you feel like we don't need the National Guard because you've never stepped foot on the actual South and West Side. Elitist progressives and leftist white Chicagoans have the privilege of not needing the National Guard in order to feel safe in their communities. They walk out their door in the morning with their babies to go get a quick coffee and their kid on a scooter with a helmet. That's privilege. That's the same privilege that you claim you want to be a part of unpacking and getting away from. It's the yuppie white women in Chicago who want to scream about Trump being fascist, yet they keep themselves carefully, safely tucked away in Lincoln Park. Come to Woodlawn. And not the cute part. No, go past 63rd. Come to Auburn Gresham. Chatham. Inglewood. Get on your scooter there. And do it about 7 o'clock. Okay. If you're not going to do that, mind your business.
Yo, Trump is declaring war on black fatigue. Nah, but for real, he didn't claim war on these inner cities, DC. to start, I hope he spreads it out to all these other major cities if he can, because this crime is getting out of control. And I know the liberals up here talking about crime has went down, that he's exaggerating the stats. I just moved out the inner city of where I'm at because of the crime. So I'm glad he's doing this. All right, let's get into it. That's my president. Yeah, let's get it. Let's get this crime solved and get back to being safe.
This is Liberation Day in D.C., and we're going to take our capital back. We're taking it back. Under the authorities vested in me as the President of the United States, I'm officially invoking Section 740 of the District of Columbia Home Rule Act. You know what that is?
Yeah, let's get it.
And placing the D.C. Metropolitan Police Department under direct federal control. In addition, I'm deploying the National Guard to help reestablish law, order, and public safety in Washington, D.C., and they're going to be allowed to do their job properly. Today, we're formally declaring a public safety emergency. This is an emergency. This is a tragic emergency. This issue directly impacts the functioning of the federal government and is a threat to America. Really, it's a threat to our country. We have other cities also that are bad, very bad. You look.
Yep. Make sure you come to my city next, man. Come on down here to Kansas City, because they've been cutting up for years. Like I said, I had to move out of downtown, out of midtown, because it is just crazy out here. But yeah, I'm gonna let him keep going. Then after he's done, I'm gonna go into the real reason why he's having to do this. And it should be a lesson to both sides, Republicans, Democrats, of why we can't do certain things.
Look at Chicago, how bad it is. You look at Los Angeles, how bad it is. We have other cities that are very bad. New York has a problem. And then you have, of course, Baltimore and Oakland. We don't even mention that anymore. They're so far gone. We're not going to let it happen. We're not going to lose our cities over this. And we're getting rid of the slums, too. We have slums here. We're getting rid of them. I know it's not politically correct. You'll say, oh, so terrible. No, we're getting rid of the slums where they live. You know, my father always used to tell me, I had a wonderful father, very smart. And he used to say, son, when you walk into a restaurant and you see a dirty front door, don't go in. Because if the front door is dirty, the kitchen's dirty also. Same thing with the Capitol. If our Capitol's dirty, our whole country is dirty, and they don't respect us. You tell them, you spit, and we hit. And they can hit real hard. It's a disgusting thing. I've watched that for years, for 3-4 years. I've watched them. The police are standing, and they're told, don't do anything under any such, and you can see they want to get at it. And they're standing there, and people are spitting in their face, and they're not allowed to do anything. But now they are allowed to do whatever the hell they want. This city will no longer be a sanctuary for illegal alien criminals. We will have full, seamless, integrated cooperation at all levels of law enforcement, and we'll deploy officers across the district with an overwhelming presence. You'll have more police, and you'll be so happy, because you'll be safe. When you walk down the street, you're going to see police, or you're going to see FBI agents. We're going to have a lot of agents on the street. And you're going to have a lot of, essentially, military. And we will bring in the military if it's needed, by the way. We're going to have National Guard. But Pete Hegseth will tell you about it. We will bring in the military if needed.
That's crazy, but it's long overdue. And what I was talking about earlier, a big reason why a lot of this shit is going on is because of this whole defund the police shit they did during the pandemic. A lot of these officers just don't feel secure doing their job. They don't want no shit coming around where, you know what I'm saying, they run into a black man and something happened and then they go to jail over it. So, I mean, it's allowed for a lot of the crime and stuff that's been happening to go down because they can't do their job. And you have these politicians and stuff that are behind these officers not doing their job. They're turning on their officers. That's the crazy part. So to have Trump step up and be a man and say, hey, we taking back over our streets. And it's crazy because the liberals are already finding shit to say to go against this man. Like, it's like y'all want crime to keep going on. I seen something earlier where they were showing stats talking about the crime went down. He's lying. And no, we some of us live in these cities and we see it. It's crazy out here. My homie yesterday, I went to fix his car And he was like, yo, I gotta run, he's like, you gotta run me to the bank so I can pay you, whatever. So he come out to the car, get in, we headed to the bank. He got a whole pistol with an extended clip in it. And he just like, man, that's how it is out here. You know how it be. Cause like I said, I'm not in the city no more. I moved out to the suburbs because I can't deal with all the crime. And I'm like, I don't know that, but I do know that, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's crazy out here. And to have these liberals lying and saying that these cities are safe. No, they're not. You can watch the news, watch the local news. You will see somebody getting popped every day. We all know about Chirac, Chicago, St. Louis, Atlanta, they got crazy. And it's all because these law enforcement officers can't do their jobs because we got these weak soy boy liberals and everybody else that's crying every time the police try to do their job. And like I said, if I was an officer, I wouldn't want to do nothing. If it ain't serious, I'm letting them go. Cause I don't need him to act out, get emotional and get crazy. And I got to defend myself. And at that point, I should have just let him take my life. Cause guess what? Now I'm sitting in jail. You know what I'm saying? Because I was trying to defend myself. And because you got people out here who's never been in law enforcement. I haven't either. But I can, you know what I'm saying? I can put myself in their shoes and understand. Every time you approach somebody, you don't know these people. You don't know what they're capable of. That's the life of an officer, is approaching the worst of the worst and not knowing what they're capable of. So yes, the liberals, they don't want to see this side. They cancel it out and make all police just seem like they're supposed to bow and kneel to everybody, no matter what they've done. Now, we can't have that. We got to take our streets back. And if it takes somebody like Trump to do it, man, I'm all for it. I hope some of these red states get on board and just leave these blue states looking crazy with the crime and stuff like that. Oh yeah, and that's the other thing too. I wish it was something Trump can do, but I think that's more of a community thing. Besides the police, it's the fathers missing. A lot of this crime that's going on, especially from the black community, is from boys who've been programmed by their mama and no intervention by the father, because the courts either cut him out or, you know what I'm saying, he not there. And most of the time these days it's because the courts cut him out. And it's the culture that we're pushing. We don't push marriage anymore. You got the women that's becoming harder than the dudes. If you listen to the music, you hear it. Everything they like. I don't even listen to it, but the little stuff that I hear when I'm in like stores or out at little events, I'm like, how are y'all playing this shit? Cause it's just chicks talking about, I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll fuck a nigga up, all that kind of stuff. And I'm just like, God damn, this is what the women are saying now. So yeah, of course our community is gonna be messed up. And I'm glad he's doing one part, but we got to do our part. And y'all not going to shut me up. I'm going to keep talking about it. Y'all can go ahead and leave the Uncle Tom Coon comments in the comments or whatever. Man, I don't really give a fuck. We got to start speaking up. Real men speak up. Real men, y'all go down and comment, like, so this could be pushed out. All right, y'all. I can't wait to see how this go down. I might need to go to DC myself just to see what's going on. See these niggas get taken down. All right, I'm out. Locker room therapy.